Hello everyone! There have been many people in our history who have made a huge contribution with their desire to change this world for the better. All people are different. Some have been made into films, others are immortalized in books, and others who do good without making too much noise may never be known. They do all this kind of the kindness, not for the sake of praise or money, but in order to somehow change the world and the environment of people among whom we live. After all, a person comes into the world and leaves it without anything, so it's important that he is able to leave after. Today we're going to talk about one such person. I bet you'll find it interesting, so sit back and let's talk about everything in order. Harris Rosen is an ordinary man. But when he walks down the street, passerby pays homage to him by taking off his hat. Why did he do that to make his name known to millions of people, you might ask? The man was born in an ordinary family in New York. He had usual childhood, and after high school, Harris went to college. His parents were able to give their son a good education at Cornell University, where he received a bachelor degree in its School of Hotel Administration. Even at that time, his plans were full of ideas on how to make the world a little happier and kinder. For the same reason, he turned to Walt Disney, asking for a job. However, despite the fact that Rosen's eyes were burning, Disney refused to take Harris to work. As they didn't see any prospects in him, all his dreams were shattered overnight, and he didn't know what to do next. But life went on as usual. He had to get a job to somehow feed himself. So Harris decided to get a job in hotel. Despite the fact that his work was unremarkable because he was just an ordinary employee of the service sector, his main dream was still the hope of changing this world. Therefore, he always donated part of his salary to charity in order to help people in some way. By the time he was 30, he was still working at a hotel in Orlando. The man wasn't happy because he thought his life was passing by. Despite his job wasn't his passion, he was very successful in it, and over the years, he knew a lot about the hotel business, and after a few years, after having saved about $25,000 and also borrowing money from friends, he bought a small old motel. From this period of his life, the story of his great success begins. The hotel business grew and developed along with the popular tourism industry of the city of Orlando. Business at the motel was good, and Harris received a huge profit from it. Later, his chain of motels expanded. He bought new hotels and competed with the giants of the business. For several years of continuous work, his income has increased several times, and he has become a rich man. You probably think he had reached his ceiling, so he should have lived and enjoyed a happy, rich life, spending fabulous sums on yachts, expensive cars, and so on. I will refute your expectations. This is not about our hero. One evening, Harris was contacted by the municipal government of Tangelo Park, Florida, and told that their town state was awful. Most of the population was mired in drugs, and their lives were in a deplorable condition. It seemed that these people had no future, just like this small town, and tourists tried to avoid Tangelo Park itself. Everything was so bad in the city that even the police refused to appear there, and the number of crimes went through the roof. Changing life in the city was like a challenge for me. I couldn't stand by and not take action. It's impossible to even imagine or understand this person. After all, he got into his car and drove to the every center of this little hell alone. When he arrived in the Tangelo Park, he left his premium car in the middle of the street and went to communicate with the residents of the city. They thought that Harris was crazy. However, the man managed to get around and track down the local gang leaders, community leaders, and brought the ordinary people of this city together. Do you really want to live like this? Do you want your children to have no future, so that after they turn 16, they will die because of a stray bullet? Asked Harris. Residents were shocked by what they heard because they first met a man who cared about their fate. They were surprised by his boldness and audacity. Local residents felt confidence and determination from the man, so these feelings were transmitted to them. Realizing the whole essence of what was happening, namely that these people didn't have a bright future, they couldn't grow and develop. Then Harris decided to share all that he had with these people. He was so well off that his wealth was enough for 1,000 poor families and possibly more. A few days later, Harris returned to the small godforsaken city, but he didn't return there empty-handed. Harris took with him food, clothing, basic necessities for people, and sports equipment and computer equipment, which he then gave to the local school. Every day, people trusted him more and more, and after a while, the townspeople realized that his desire to change everything and change this town inspires them. The man himself didn't notice that every day, he became more and more attached to the city and its inhabitants, and a few months later, he decided to link his fate with the dying town of Tangelo Park. He knew that it would take a lot of effort, both mentally and physically, to carry out his plan, so he bought a house and established there on a permanent basis. And despite the fact that Harris knew how much money would be spent on the transformation of the town, he didn't think to give up his plan, because the man was ready to share. In his first year, he spent more than $4 million to train adults in the city. And as a result, thanks to his effort and support, many people found decent jobs. He gave children the opportunity to go to kindergartens, and also didn't forget about school children. So for everyone who finished school with good grades, he guaranteed further education in universities and colleges. After these promises, the percentage of students who graduated from school in the town increased several times, and the crime rate in the area significantly decreased. In an interview, Harris noted that this event was strange, but at the same time pleasant. After all, yesterday's drug dealers, criminals, and those who until recently didn't let the gun out of their hands now joyfully meet you, walking from the library or rushing to the exam. It was worth it to do this, the man noted. After some time, the man allocated more than $25,000 and also donated a plot of land to the University of Central Florida for the development of hotel management in the existing Thayer College. He made sure that all graduates of the local school Tangelo Park will automatically get the opportunity for admission to this college for free, and after graduation, all graduates got jobs in the Harris Rosin's business. Today, Rosin's hotel business has sufficiently expanded. It includes more than 8,000 hotel rooms that serve about 4,000 employees. Thanks to his responsiveness and a kind heart, Harris is well known throughout Florida and far beyond its borders. It's hard to imagine, but in one of the Harris hotels, there is a man who at the time of their acquaintance couldn't even read and write. Before, it seemed his life wouldn't have happy ending. But now, thanks to Harris, he became a successful manager in one of the hotels. He successfully coped with his duties, receives a decent salary, and has family and children. If you look at him now, you won't believe who he was 10 years ago. Harris made a huge contribution to the further development of infrastructure in Southwest Orlando, a community center, kindergartens, and schools. In addition, he helped many residents of the city with housing and getting a job. Currently, he is sponsoring Children's Sports Club, teaches ex-offenders to business and financial literacy. Everything that used to be on the verge of destruction in Tangelo Park is now blooming. And for all this, residents are grateful to the wonderful person Harris Rosin. After Harris was awarded the title of Person of the Year, local journalists began to search for information about Mr. Rosin and found out that in Yiddish, his last name means rose. The rose has many different meanings. In Judaism, it symbolizes the tree of life, and in Christianity, charity. Now Tangelo Park has changed a lot. It's now quite different from the Forgotten Town, which is now only a legend. Not only the city itself has changed, but also its residents, and this is all thanks to the indifference of an ordinary man named Harris Rosin. The man himself is sure that you need to be a leader and a servant who serves people and the whole world. It so happened that a man who created himself from scratch, created and grew his business, realized his long-held dream, changing the lives of a small town and tens of thousands of people. Each of us can contribute to the common good. Of course, we may not earn millions like Harris Rosin, but it doesn't matter, because if you really want something, you will definitely get it. The main thing is the desire. That's it for today. Thanks for watching the video till the end. Write your opinions about this incredible person in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. See you again!